Our film begins with an elderly woman named Bridget Cardigan, Mona or Monica, attending a party at her friend's house. Her friend and her husband told her that Bridget's husband, Don, had put their house up for sale. Bridget was shocked by this news as she had no idea. She immediately returned home and confronted her husband, Don, who confirmed, "Yes, I put the house up for sale to pay off the huge debt we have." Bridget did not want to lose her house. She shouted at him to find another solution besides selling the house. Her husband told her, "If you can find that solution, then you do it." Bridget went to apply for a job to pay off the debt, but she was not accepted because she was too old. She returned home and began searching and calling numbers for job offers advertised in the newspaper. Later, her daughter, who did not live with them, came over. The daughter told her, "Pay me, I cleaned the house for you." Bridget said, "I don't have money and I'm looking for a job myself right now." Her daughter then told her, "There is a job at the Federal Reserve Bank. They are looking for cleaning ladies who have no criminal record and age doesn't matter." Bridget accepted the offer and went to the bank the next day. As she started her job, she saw carts full of money passing by her, and she was stunned by the sheer amount of money they were carrying. The woman showing her the job took her into the surveillance room and told her it is best not to look at the cameras. But Bridget couldn't help herself. She kept watching the money being monitored and the employees guarding it from that room. Then the bank manager came to her and told her, "Your job is to come in here, clean, and leave, and keep your eyes on the floor." Later, Bridget became acquainted with an employee whose job was to shred old money. Her name was Nina Brewster, Nicole. We learned that the bank shreds old money, turning it into scraps to print new money in its place, which helps maintain the country's economy and budget. After this, the manager began explaining to them the security system for the money carts. He told them there are 3 keys. The first is attached to the cart. The second is held by the security guard, Barry, who has been working with them for 3 years and is trusted. And the third is held by the employee, Nina, as she is the one who shreds the money. After this, Nina was doing her job and saw a girl taking a cart of money up the elevator. Before the elevator opened, the girl was listening to music and dancing. Bridget noticed that behind this cart there was a trash bin that the camera did not cover. She went right up to it to check the situation, and it was clear she was starting to plan something. During lunchtime, she saw the girl listening to music and dancing, and she began thinking of including her in the plan she was formulating. After they finished work and were leaving, Nina walked past security. One of the guards, Tom, kept trying to approach her, but she always stopped him. When Nina came out, Bridget approached her, cutting straight to the idea. "Without introductions, I'm thinking of stealing the money you shred, and I want you to join me so we can cooperate on this." When Nina heard this, she was scared and told her, "No, forget me in this matter." She then left. On the way, Nina reached home and prepared lunch for her children. One of her sons looked out the window and said, "Mom, come look, an old woman is standing in front of our door." When she went out to look, she found it was Bridget, who had followed her there. Bridget showed her a lock and said, "I bought a lock that looks exactly like the cart's lock. Now all we need to do is cooperate." Nina was still afraid. Bridget told her, "I'm not in this game with you. I have children I need to raise," and closed the door on her. The next day, Nina went to work and went to the place where they change clothes. She found an advertisement for a good school and wished to enroll her children in it, but she couldn't afford the tuition. When she started her job, she looked at the cart's lock, remembered the lock Bridget showed her, and found it to be an exact replica. During lunchtime, Nina signaled Bridget to follow her to the bathroom to talk. When they met in the bathroom, Nina told her, "I thought about it, and I want to join you in this, but I have children, and I'm afraid of going to jail and leaving them." Bridget told her, "Don't be afraid. I have a plan. If you end up going to jail, come kill me now." Since they agreed, after leaving work, they met at a coffee shop with Jackie Truman, the girl who always listened to music and danced. They told her the idea, and the girl immediately agreed without discussion. The next day, they began implementing their plan for the first time. Bridget wore the lock on her belt, which contained a lot of metal, allowing her to pass through the bank security without them knowing she was carrying a lock. When she started cleaning the empty carts, she switched the original lock with the one she bought. The security guard, Tom, was watching her on camera, but he didn't suspect anything. Next was Jules' turn. She was the one who would move the cart full of money. Nina went to the bathroom and took the original lock that Bridget had left her there. With it, she found the number of the cart she was supposed to work on, so she could go directly to it. Back to Jewel. When she reached the trash bin that the camera didn't cover, she stopped and quickly opened the lock because it wasn't the original one, and Bridget had given her the key to this fake one. She started taking stacks of money and throwing them into the trash bin. Tom, although he saw her standing there, didn't pay attention because he knew she was always dancing and the camera did not cover what was behind her. After emptying the money there, she took the cart up to Nina, gave her a smile, meaning she had succeeded, and then left. At this time, Bridget came next to the trash bin and emptied the black plastic bag of money, pretending it was just trash. Now it was Nina's turn in the plan. When the cart reached her, she switched the fake lock with the original one. This was the last step. Afterwards, the three of them met in the bathroom, took out the money, hid it in their clothes, and left without carrying anything in their bags as they were searched at the exit. Before it was Jules' turn to be searched, Bridget saw some money showing from her clothes. She tried to signal her to warn her, but it was no use. She didn't understand. Just then, the manager came out of his office and shouted Bridget's name loudly, running towards her. They were all scared, thinking they had been caught. It turned out he only saw her badge fallen on the floor and came to give it to her. Our friends survived this time. They went to Bridget's house to divide the money, thrilled with joy. Bridget's husband, Don, came in and saw the large amount of money. He told her, "It's better for you to stay away from this path. It will clearly lead to jail." Bridget told her, "I'm tired of living in poverty. It's time for me to live my life a little, and that money we took was going to be shredded anyway." As for Nina, the first thing she did was enroll her children in the school she liked, even though she paid extra fees for being late to register. Days passed and our trio kept stealing. They did this for 6 months until they were truly rich. One night they had a group dinner, including Don and Jules' fiancé, Michael. Here, Bridget said she wanted to steal more money, and they began to criticize her, but Jewel wanted to continue too. Michael told her, "It's better to stop. Greed is bad." Nina also told Bridget, "I'm not with you anymore in this. You can continue by yourself." The next day, Bridget went and bought a big, expensive diamond ring because she wanted to spend money like a socialite. When she went to work, Nina saw the ring on her hand, took it, and told her, "This life you want to live isn't good for you. Why are you wasting money on rings like this?" Bridget, to save herself, told her, "No, this one isn't real." Nina replied, "Then you won't mind if I throw it in the bathroom." And she actually threw it in the bathroom, leaving Bridget regretting it because it was worth a fortune. A little later, Bridget came to Nina, who was in the bathroom, and threw the lock with the key to her. The key slipped and fell into the drain. Now they were in serious trouble, because without that key, Nina wouldn't be able to open the original lock of the cart, and they were terrified of being caught. But they thought of a plan. Bridget called her husband Don and told him to call Michael, Jules' fiancé, and inform her that they needed the key she had, and she had to deliver it to them by any means. Jewel was immediately informed by her fiancé because the three of them were forbidden to communicate inside the bank by phone, as they would be caught. Anyway, when she knew what was happening, she left the key in the elevator, sticking it under some gum.
Later, Bridget pretended to clean and took the key without anyone noticing. She went straight to Nina and threw the key to her. Nina finally managed to open the money cart after the security guard, Tom, had been standing over her. If she had been delayed even a little, he would have known what was going on. But when he saw the lock open, he noticed that the cart's key was still hanging in its place, meaning Nina hadn't used it to open the lock. Because it was the fake lock, not the real one. He waited and let her leave work. Then he went to her car. Tom told her, I know you're stealing from the bank, and I'm telling you now to tell your friends who are with you in the plan that this is over." That night, the trio met at the coffee shop. Nina told them what happened and said she was just lucky that Tom liked her and gave her a chance, or he wouldn't have let her go. Bridget told her, "Good, you need to use this point to our advantage and make him join our team. In exchange, he will also earn money, and you promise him you will marry him." Nina initially refused, but when she saw there was no other solution, she did it. She went to his house and tried to persuade him to join the plan, but she couldn't and went back home. The next day, Bridget lured Tom to the bathroom and followed him there. With her cunning, Bridget managed to convince him to join them, as he would earn a lot of money and the heart of Nina and marry her. Thus, she managed to influence him and convince him to agree. Afterward, they all gathered at the restaurant and agreed on the next steps of the plan. They continued like this for several months, stealing, until they no longer had anywhere to put the money and were just burying it in the ground. After some time had passed since they started this, an FBI agent came to the bank. The manager began explaining their security system to him. The agent had come to conduct an investigation because he suspected there was a possibility of theft at the bank. Jewel was hearing all of this from behind the door. She immediately went to the others and told them, trembling with fear. Later, Bridget entered to do her cleaning job near them. As soon as she saw the FBI agent, she panicked, and in her fear she dropped her cleaning products, and the lock fell with them. But she quickly reacted and hit it with her foot before they could see it. The agent then spoke to the manager and told him, "The thief is inside the bank, and I suspect Nina, Bridget, and Jewel." The manager told him, "The security system we use is very difficult for anyone to steal with, and I cannot accuse any of my employees without evidence." The agent told him, "Don't worry, we are monitoring them until we find the evidence." The surveillance was indeed in place because Don, Bridget's husband, saw the agent outside the house watching them. He called her and informed her. He told her, "We need to hire a lawyer in case we get caught." Bridget told him, "No, if we do that, we will confirm the accusation against ourselves." Later, they all gathered with their partners thinking of a solution. They were all afraid except for Bridget, who was the only one calming them. She told them, "If they had any evidence against us, they would have caught us a long time ago. So don't be afraid. We just need to be careful. And the best thing to do now is make the piles of money we've collected disappear, so that even if there's an inspection, they won't find any evidence against us." That night, each of them got rid of the money in their own way. Jewel blew up the caravan she was living in with her fiancé with the money inside. But as they were escaping, the police stopped them with a helicopter and surrounded them. The police caught him as he was still hiding the money. At this time, Nina was just going out to the garden to burn the money when the police stopped her and arrested her. As for Bridget, she left her husband at home to hide the money, while she took some of it, got into her car, and fled. Then the police came after her to the house and caught her husband throwing the money in the toilet and arrested him. They were all taken for questioning, but none of them wanted to confess to stealing. The next day, Bridget was sitting alone in a cafe. The FBI agent stopped next to her. He told her, "You better surrender yourself and confess to what you did." She told him, "Why would I surrender myself? I have no evidence against me." Meanwhile, the investigator was pressuring Nina to confess and accuse Bridget, promising to lessen her sentence or even release her as a witness because she had children. She considered doing it to save herself, but she couldn't betray her friend Bridget. At this time, Bridget went to her friend who wanted to buy her house initially. She gave her husband a lot of money, as he was a lawyer, and asked him to find a solution to get her friends and husband out of jail. Then, she and the lawyer went to the police station. When her friends saw her, they were happy, thinking she had escaped and abandoned them. When the lawyer went in to see the bank manager and the police, he told them, "I will offer you a good deal. You release the people from jail, and in return, the police will take all the money they found. Or you can continue with your process and I will win against you because you have no evidence that the money you found came from the bank." He reached an agreement with them. Afterward, he went out to his friends and delighted them with the news. He told them, "You are all going to be released, but the government will take all the money they found." When they were released, they were all happy and hugged each other. Months after this incident, we see our trio reunited at Bridget's friend's coffee shop. Nina told them she had married Tom. Then Bridget told them, "I have something that will make you happy." She led them down to the coffee shop's cellar, where they found she was still hiding some sacks of money that the police hadn't found, because she had taken precautions for the day they would get caught. The friends started jumping with joy. This is where our film ends. We hope you enjoyed the summary. Don't forget to watch the previous summaries and subscribe to watch the upcoming summaries. Take care and see you in the next video.